shower your blessings on us each and every day. Your son's name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
David. Thank you, All right, we will start off with an opportunity to review the January 9th minutes. Any discussion?
I make a motion to approve. I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, claims. Any questions about claims?
I do not. I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion.
Aye.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Looking at payroll for the week of January, or pay of January 17th. Total amount was $378,347.43. It is higher than normal because we had a lot of overtime from different departments that were working during the snowstorm that we had. There were also a number of work from home or remote work that I noted. I'm guessing a lot of that was from the storm, the weather conditions. Any questions?
No. You mind the storm? I make a motion to approve. I second that.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Moving on, Todd Howe.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
John.
Last couple of weeks, we've done some survey work, sign maintenance, truck maintenance, and repair work on the trucks. We had training from IPEP, proper filling out of the accident report and procedure that's supposed to be done. They try to keep the roads cleared off. If the wind would lay down and it puts snow, it'll be easy. I would like to get your guys' approval to advertise for bid dates for February 17th, which would include stone, pipes, structural plate, fuel, and asphalt. I will be sending all those that have the bid now a letter, find out they won't go that way.
Is that an annual bid, Todd?
Yeah. The asphalts were first and applied, and then if we get awarded the I also have CCMG 2024-2, which is HNA overlay. I'll bid those together. First and applied and CCMG.
We do it like last year where we could leave the CCMG, award that bid, and then furnish and apply to somebody else if we had to, or is it all going to be one company?
It'll be two different bids. And most bidder gets it. I think Globe got it last year on first and applied. And
Okay.
they did chip and seal, so what was that, Paper Solutions?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'll send a letter to them, see if they want to roll. And then they have to send me a letter back. And I'm saying the current pricing. The chemical treatment, guys, a quote for that. I've got another quote, but it's not formal. I just got a text from me this morning. This is for chemical treatment for the boiler system, for any kind of scaling, checking the loops, just general maintenance on the floor heat and the boiler. I know we awarded Piney the PM agreement. This person would be working with Piney, okay, giving him reports, and Piney would be reporting to me. I wanted to get another quote, so I had David reach out to another guy. He texted me this morning. I don't have the formal quote, but his cost is $24.75 for the year, and $240 to install a filter unit. If we don't have soft water. Treatment.
You didn't have a deadline on these, did you?
So,
You didn't have a deadline for receiving these bids.
no.
I'd like to see it in a formalized, bid so that we can compare it to make sure that what we're getting
Okay.
on both sides.
Yeah.
That would be at least my preference.
The finding that we talked about last meeting was not, that's not part of that.
No,
That portion
of their
of
contract.
the contract, as far as maintenance of all your HVAC and all
Well, they're covering all the equipment in there, but the one thing that they can't do is the chemical treatment for the boiler system.
that.
So this is nothing beyond that.
Okay. And that's because we don't have a soft water system.
We don't have a saltwater system, but it's maintenance that's supposed to be done, just to make sure that the chemicals are right. I guess there's some testing that's going on. Filter system on that. So like I said, some of this, all this stuff just went on our head. So I didn't add up. I didn't know what his total was, but I'll have a formal bid, bring that back to the next meeting.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
And that's basically heat, right?
Yes.
What's the survey work for that you're working on?
Survey work, we got a couple bridges we're gonna be rebuilding this year. Unfortunately, one's right down for me on my road, for a bridge inspection. They lowered EV from 10 ton, 3 ton, because the buckles down below are failing. So we're gonna do basically a whole replacement. We'll do that in-house. The one in Westport, going out on 1100 South, that's got a load restriction on it too. We were planning on doing that a couple of years ago, but then you had that State Road 3 got repaid, and we didn't want to mess with that. So those are the two we've been doing survey work on, making sure that we order the right beams, get the proper soil samples, because those will be piling driven. Okay, so got to make sure that that's all tested. There's just a lot of work that goes into it. The alignment, if we got to change it, kind of alignment on it. That's kind of Tim's wheelhouse, not mine, but anyhow, the training got the guys, get cross training guys to help Tim out, take some of the load off you.
It's great.
I think that is all I got. You guys have anything for me?
I don't think so.
You know,
Hey, Todd.
Thank you.
Moving on, Tim Kramer.
Morning, Charlie.
Good morning.
go on, Tim.
January 6th to the 17th, had 18 inspections and 15 out of the 18 passed. The new area plan director started on the 13th, and we had a meeting at the office, people in there, and then Paul Stone. I believe he was representing the area planning commission. We had a meeting that morning. One of the things we discussed was old outstanding permits that have never been closed out or finalized, like final inspection. There were, I believe there was a couple hundred of them. They go back 10, 15 years, some of these permits. So my question is, what do we need to do to address, I think they decided what to do with these old ones, but moving forward, what's the incentive for what are we gonna do to make people, go ahead and close out permits? When they get a building permit, there will be a final inspection, all be done. It's good for 1 year, and if they're not done, then they have to come in and renew the permit for another year. So we do that. But to have permits 5, 10 years old, if say they don't want to do an inspection, I don't go in final inspection, what's the penalty?
Do we not have a fine or fee schedule? Or
I'll have to look into That's my question is, we need to have something in place for that.
I think the incentive, right, is that you get a large portion of those permit money back.
It's like $100. Usually.
But I did, my understanding, there was penalties for not closing.
And I believe maybe there's a penalty, for instance, say a home, if they move into it, they don't have certificate of occupancy, so maybe we could leverage with that. But other structures that they're building or whatever, if they just come in, get a permit, pay whatever, and then they never have an inspection done at all. I mean, if there's no penalty, what's the use of having them get a permit? So that needs to be addressed, I think, something.
Dig into that, let us know. And if there's something that you need from us, then
Or recommendations, what you'd like to see.
Okay. Then, the vehicle that I have to drive had repairs. We checked with the commissioner before we took that in, got it repaired. But just wanted to make you aware, because they just got this vehicle the end of last year, so we have something set up for a budget for vehicle maintenance. I don't know if that was in place.
yeah, we have part of our commissioner's fund, we have some money to go to, things like that.
So I just wanted to point that out.
Have you gotten the signage for his vehicle?
It's on.
Then I had another inspection I went on, and it had a violation. The water lines are in an exterior wall of a new construction, and you're not allowed to have, naturally, for chances of freezing. So I talked to them, and this particular structure is built on a slab. And the water lines come up through the slab, right next to the outside of the slab in the wall. So I said, that needs to be tore up, moved in. Well, the homeowner doesn't want to do it because they got heat in the floor. And he's afraid they'll take a chance of hitting the heat in the floor or something. So my question is, I told him, I said, maybe I can just get you to sign a waiver. I told you this is a problem, but I want to know, am I allowed to have the homeowner sign a waiver and just sign off on something like that?
On his, I would have to look. So how that's now. I'm sure that's a practice going in. I know even a bunch of building codes. But dig around and see what.
But it's not necessarily a problem for him, right? Maybe he can figure it out with the next person's buys the house. I've got to look at these scenarios.
Right.
Something
Exactly.
set ourselves up for that.
I don't like the idea. There's always circumstances where you have to use common sense, but I don't like the idea of opening up that Pandora's box of just signing a waiver because something was already done. Yeah.
And that's the problem I saw, he's aware of it, but then down the road, somebody else buys it and be a problem. So I told him I would check on that. And then I've got another ongoing problem with the building. Just the way it's constructed, I don't feel good about it. And I've asked for more detail, some engineering to verify that this is going to hold up, because I've done enough building to look at, I'm just not comfortable with it. So I reached out to an engineer, I found an engineer, he can look at it. He said it probably would be a minimum charge of 1 hour consultation, tell us. So I went back to the homeowner, and the homeowner doesn't feel like they ought to have to pay for an engineering, so they don't want to pay for it. The builder doesn't want to do anything with it. So I don't want to sign off on it. So we're at a stalemate here. So I'm looking for some guidance on what to do. Something like that. I didn't know, I don't feel like the county ought to have to pay for it. I could have the engineer do it. We could pay him. Why should we have to?
Well, if you don't sign off on it, then he's at stalemate himself. So if he wants to move forward, he has to have somebody come in and have that engineer for an hour and look at it, unless he can find another engineer.
But the homeowner already told me they don't want to pay for it. And the builder, I'm not making any headway with him. I asked for some, literature, and he sent me a picture with a box of screws, showing the screws that he used to hold it.
I think this comes back to your original questions, 2 weeks ago, right? I mean, you think that everything should be pre-engineered before they come to you. That's not your responsibility in order to do that. So I personally, my opinion is you hold the power here.
It's well within your right to deny anything
Exactly.
going forward
Yeah.
until you're satisfied. It's well within your right.
And I believe that's all I've got today.
You're doing a great job, Tim.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mindy, animal control.
So we've had a lot going on. There are 2 grants that came in. I've got paperwork over here. It's the Best Friends 2024. And then the Friends have signed us up for a grant, and we were awarded $1,000 through the Greater Good Society, which is tips. So those are on there. And I needed to ask you guys, would it be okay to raise my credit card limit? Because we are using Brownsburg right now to get these cats fixed, and I'm constantly having to go throughout the month,
What's your current limit?
2,000.
What do you see as a normal monthly spend?
We have 3 transports scheduled this month, so about 5. And I'm gonna try to work with them and see maybe if we can get on monthly billing, which I think would be easier as well.
Yeah.
I would like to, it's easier for me.
So what do you request as far as your credit? You want to go 5?
Yeah, just raise it right now because I'm constantly calling them and asking them to, because Brownsburg will say, well, it only went through for this amount, there's a remaining balance. And it's just easier.
Just to be clear, do they do net 30 terms?
They do with Shelbyville. I was talking to their director, so I'm gonna talk to the scheduler in billing to see if we can do it. And I'm
Could you
sure
get
that
us
they
a-
will.
Could you get us an answer on that first? Just to me, if we can skip the credit card transaction fees.
It would be easier for me because
And
the
then
credit
go
card
to-
reconciling.
Sure. If we could go to net 30 terms and skip the credit card transaction fees, I think that would put us all on that.
Right, because see, it's gonna get even more confusing because, so as of the first of the year, our shelter veterinarian stepped away. She's having some health issues. So working with Brownsburg to send our animals over. So
What else besides getting the animals fixed in Brownsburg do you use the credit card for?
just normal things like if we need to order like Amazon or office supplies. I mean, we've got a Walmart credit card that we use for like things that paper towels, kennel supplies.
Yeah, I'd like to see if we can get billing.
I'll work with it, yeah, because I've got to call Shelley again, so.
That'd be,
Because it's gonna be way more confusing because I'm gonna have to keep it separate on the billing now from what TNR transport and what's shelter.
TNR is covered by the grant. Well, at the end. So
Uh,
I said a lot of that money you're spending is covered by the TNR grant.
Yeah, that's all covered by TNR. And then we've got another grant so we're almost done with, we're well over halfway on the Rachel Ray, but then with Dayton, we have another 300 cats to do, so.
yeah, get us that info, and then if we still need to raise it, we can discuss that at the next meeting.
Sure.
Go
But,
ahead.
okay, and then, I know I might just pull it right, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
But so now, since the shelter veterinarian stepped away, what I plan on doing, we are gonna try to look for one, but it's kind of like the needle in a haystack, they're rare. But what we were planning on doing is just using our shelter veterinarian appropriation to pay for that, because that's what we did before. We took the adoption and turned that over into shelter veterinarian. Okay. 'Cause
Yeah, so you'll be spending and neuter.
out of that.
That's
I had talked to it was my monthly check-in with best friends and dating. And we had talked about there are mobile vets that maybe we could bring in. So we'll look into it.
Okay.
There's options.
The best friends grant, how much was that for?
That one was for 60. That's what bought the van. There's another 13,000 that just came in, and that's for the spay and neuter. It paid for my adoption coordinator and the grant writer. Then there's like money for TV ads and Facebook ads, promoting us and our animals. And what else? Oh, there was $1,000 toward the vehicle insurance for the new transport van.
And then the greater good, the one from Hills, what's that one?
It's pretty much open. We can use it for anything in the shelter. Correct.
Yeah, it was to the shelters, the shelters director, as long as it went towards something that was life-saving or anything that's the shelter. Pretty wide open. It was just found on Facebook. Somebody sent it to me and we applied for it. Got it pretty easily.
And I'm trying to get in on their food plan where they supply us with the food. We agree to give them email addresses, which helps them. And then it would be good. It's better food. It would be keeping the animals on the same diet. So it doesn't mess their tummy up when you change back to food. So, and the year-end reports through Best Friends in Greater Dayton was amazing. So our gross save rate this year for the animals, we went from, we started at 2022, that's when we started with them. We were at 56.6%. In 23, we went 61%, 61.7%. And in 2024, we jumped to 80.8% by release save rate. And then I received an email from Best Friends that we have received the Best Friends Animal Society Climate Impact 2024.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
And I'm glad too that 90% you're
There will
considered
be no kill.
will be no kill, and that opens a whole different box of worms. So right now we're only allowed in one category. Once you hit 90%, we'll have a whole different category to go into. And that's where we want more funds that could go towards a shelter or this type of thing, a lot larger grants. So, I mean, it's came up 30%, which is huge for the shelter. We want to
That's
applaud them for that.
fantastic.
Okay, and then, so in our last board meeting, we has worked on the board manual. So they were presented to the board. They're going to look over them and then they will put in any comments or whatever, and then we can go from there. And then they'll come to you for your approval.
Yep.
We're moving along.
That's fantastic.
Okay, and then are you ready for the
Yep.
year-end numbers? Okay. So as of 12/1, we had 60 cats in the shelter and 25 dogs. Intakes in the county, there were 5 cats and 7 dogs. Intakes in the city was 17 cats and 13 dogs. So the year-end, or the year-to-date for the cats in the county was 96 and 169 dogs. And intakes in the city year-to-date was 334 cats and 160 dogs. For the month of December, we finalized 20 cat adoptions and 14 dog adoptions. Year-to-date on the adoptions was 259 cats and 171 dogs. Currently, we have 61 cats in foster and 32 dogs. For euthanasia, we no cats and we euthanized 3 dogs. Year-to-date on that was 44 cats and 29 dogs. That's the lowest we've ever had.
44 cats.
29 dogs. And none of it was for space. It was just for aggression or sickness. We sent 6 dogs to rescue. Year to date on the rescue was 123 cats and 100 dogs. We returned 6 dogs to their owners. And year to date was 3 cats returned to their owner and 74 dogs. There were 2 dogs that were owner requested euthanasia. And we had a total of 3 cats and 18 dogs from the time that we started doing it. And the incidents, there were 10 incidents in the county. 1 animal was picked up in 6 runs. Year-to-date incidents was 86 in the county. Year-to-date picked up was 152, and year-to-date runs was 94. In the city, there were 13 incidents, 0 animals picked up, and 12 runs. So in the city, that makes year-to-date 166, year-to-date pickup 31, and year-to-date runs 166. Okay, then the breakdown for the owner surrender. Cats, there was 8 cats owner surrendered in the city, and then 9 dogs. There were 0 cats in the county, owner surrendered, and 1 dog. We brought in 9 strays from the city and 4 dogs from the city. In the county, there was 2 cats and 7 dogs. At the moment, we have 17 cats on the waiting list and 12 dogs to come in. But that's changed because we had an amazing adoption this weekend at Peters. So we took out 6 dogs and only brought back 4. Or two, I'm sorry. And cats, too. Got about 4 or 5 cats out. And then there were 2 citations written, and there were 3 calls to Westport.
Mindy, can you email us that report? Please?
I saw where you were trying to get into that.
Yeah, and it wouldn't let.
Yeah, I'll email it.
It said I had to have a passport. So somehow.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay.
I'll just scan it in and email it to you
I
directly.
appreciate that.
No problem.
The commissioners had previously talked about the sheriff's department, getting rid of one of their vehicles that it was going to you. Are there going to be any upcharges or anything to outfit that vehicle coming over?
I would have to pay the flat rate. And then $15 for a new plate.
But no other equipment or anything else like that that you need?
To make it work. And if I did, would
You guys have anything for Mindy? Great work.
thank you. And I want to thank them for sliding that sideways to me. I'm all about reusing what's there, so.
Fantastic. Well, Bill, I think we're pretty much good on that transfer. If you want to step up and get the microphone for a couple minutes, I'm going to ask you.
Can I entertain a motion, maybe to do this meeting outside where it might be warmer? Yeah, you stole my thunder. I believe we discussed back in November. You had 2 pickup trucks that may roll off, one to go to animal control and one to go to the new maintenance position. Both those vehicles were ready. I'll get them off my inventory and whatever you'd like to do with them. They're ready to go.
Okay, very good. Yeah. We previously voted to have this first vehicle transferred over to the animal shelter. So we can go ahead and get that plated and get that transferred over to you.
And then if you would direct me on where to get the proper plaque for it.
Talk about that.
Sure.
Anything else, Bill?
Nothing for me.
All right, thank you, sir. Rob Ehoff, Parks Department.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Right. So, coming this morning, I just wanted to discuss, I know I said we need to read Chad, the change order of sale for Master Pro due to weather. I'm not sure that Dave and Brian probably know that in an initial contract with AstroTurf for the ball diamonds, there was, if you look in, I don't know if you've looked over or not, I sent an email, but it's actually 4.1.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if it's not completed, if the turf's not completed, the project's not completed by April 5th, a fee of 2,500 should be addressed to each of the canceled tournaments. The amount reflects our estimated losses for USSSA tournament scheduled for April 11th and April 25th. Weather delays will be accountable to a non-revenue change order executed by both parties to adjust the completion date as applicable. So obviously, I'm here to see if we can get that signed with the change order that was sent across. I've been trying to stay on top of it with USSSA and with Daniel Beecher. Daniel is our project manager with AstroTurf. And the most recent email I had from him, he was actually in town yesterday. He still feels like, obviously we start taking pictures. I would assume he's probably going to send another one over. I don't think there's any way that, in my opinion, as long as we get, a week, 2 weeks of favorable weather, they know we're number one on their list. I forwarded some of those emails over, but like his last one, it's right now he doesn't see anything wrong with them achieving the date. All right, our internal date is still April 1, even though it says April 5th. Like in our communication with Brad Shoes, communication, he's doing the groundwork out there. He's still moving along even in the weather. We're finishing up the curves, and they have finished, I guess, stone on top of the base layer stone. So as soon as they get a break, that will be done. But like this email says, he's just covering himself on the back end because of the contract in case the weather has run into late March. We're saying late March. We've got an April 1, April 5th date right in our minds. So I would think if you look at long range models, you're going to have to take the weather. Although it's subject to change, we didn't predict it. We were going to get this cold weather, but snow either. Given our prior history, last 4 or 5 years with our weather, we've been really fortunate. Some things here, obviously Jeremy and I had talked last week about this a little bit. His initial concern was I think we should identify them for something. I mean, obviously I see both sides, but also, I kind of want to hear what you guys think and what Chad thinks about how the contract's written and how we should proceed forward, if we should sign it, if we should not. This has to be.
Yeah, I just tell you guys a little bit about what the discussion was that Rob and I had. I mean, my concern was that we all knew going into this that there was potential of a weather delay. And we have tournaments that are scheduled. When's the first one?
April 11th.
April 11th. So, I mean, we knew that we were working on a tight time frame here. So one of the things that I had asked Rob was, where are we at with that tournament if this weather continues, whether it's snow or rain that's causing issues. We knew that we were working on a short time frame anyways. And the whole incentive on this project was to make this part of the Parks Department self-generating, so that we're going to be able to bring funds in. And so that was my hesitancy here, to allow them to remove this penalty here based on weather that we knew going into the winter was going to be an issue. Now, after our discussion, I think you went back and you talked with some of the tournament coordinators. And so if you can just provide that information.
So yeah, that was initially, I think in the email I sent you guys initially, my plan was initially, I wanted to stay out in front of them, stay ahead of this, because I don't want to lose the relationship with them moving forward. Jeremy and I talked, and there's a couple different things going on here. So first thing was, I did ask them, what could we do contingency plan wise if that turf, for some reason, it snows through March and it's not done. They agreed. If it snows through March, and obviously every tournament in the book is probably going to be back to the state of Indiana, right, or Southeast Indiana. But they did say that, well, we had the backcourt ready. In my opinion, this backcourt should be ready to play. Even if we don't have done what we're supposed to get done, you know what I mean, on those, they can still be manageable and playable for a week, that first weekend. And Jason Kleber, which does the C League tournaments for USSSA, he's totally on board. We're still running the tournament here. No lost revenue for us that weekend. By the 25th, I would think we'd be done. But then again, they agreed. Joey Rollins was running it. That's with USSSA baseball. He came last week. Had a great conversation. He's on the same page. We'll still play here regardless. So we get through April, we're not losing any revenue. Could be. There might not be as big show up because they're really not playing on turf, but we're still going to run 2 tournaments up. They can run it through on their brackets back. I would think by the end of April, it'll be completely done. Plus, per our rec leagues, they start in May. So we want to have at least everything done by May 1st. So I don't think we're going to have any issues. Like I said, the project manager says we're the number one on this list. He's got a crew ready and waiting. The turf will be here on the 28th now. I mean, that's 28th seems like a perfect day too. We're going to have speed. Parking lot's ready for them to drop off out there, so it's coming together. I have reassurance from Brad Sheedy thinks too, that we won't have any issues being that day. So he knows as well as I do, he's seen this before in his first rodeo. He's done turf projects, seen them lay that down on 4 diamonds, that week to 2 weeks. So he thinks it's been a
I
week.
guess in all this thought process is you feel confident,
I do.
but I guess the construction or AstroTurf doesn't feel confident if they want to waive $2,500.
They're covering themselves per the contract. Their project manager feels 100% confident. Yeah, that it's but we still cannot predict that if it snows too much, then we're going to lose a whole lot of confidence. I will, right? So then but the key is staying out in front of it with these guys
Right.
and knowing that we're out through April, and then they feel good about it. So they'll stay here. They're not going to, and that's part of my job. I'm going to keep that relationship good with them.
What happens if we don't waive the $2,500?
That was gonna be my.
That's what I'm down to next. So, a couple of different things. I don't know what our implications are. Chad knows, or Jeremy know what could happen if we don't sign.
Well, I mean, our contract is what our contract is.
Right.
They're asking for a change now.
Yeah.
It's at our discretion on whether or not we do it or not.
Jeff,
So-
let me jump in
Yep.
real quick. Just, so there's a provision that I think everybody's looking here. The liquidated damages provision only applies to contractors' fault. Okay, whether it's not their fault, so you're not, it's not letting them out of the provision. It's, if they can extend the due date, but if they miss because, the weather clears and then they don't come back on the scene for 2 weeks, then we're still in the same boat. So, what they're asking for in the change order is weather related. They've lost this many days. That's not their fault. So you can't pursue the $2,500 for the weather delay as is. But it's if once they have clearance, get back out there and then they go do another job or 3 and don't hit their date, that's when it. So in this situation, they're talking about something that's not their fault, so you couldn't get to it in. Just clear that up.
That's fair.
I don't think I'm comfortable 90 days out, already moving the date. To me, it seems like let the weather clear. And again, we're opening a window, we're opening the door here. We can move the date back already. We're still 90 days away from that. So I would assume, if it's delivered here on the 28th,
Feel all right.
try to get them going for that date.
Do you guys see anything like what if they said decide not to be there because we're not signing this, and then what do we do?
Not to what?
They don't want to continue to work because we didn't sign a change order.
I think that we have some other issues.
That's what I'm saying.
Chad can take care of.
As long as I have you guys.
I think Chad will be in a good position to deal with some of those issues.
So, I mean, basically, I want to relay to them, hey, we don't have any issues signing this, pending what happens with the weather here going forward. You know what I mean? Let's talk about this. Weather clears up a little bit, see how committed you are to the project. I think they are. Right. Yeah, we want to keep them focused as a company on that day as well.
Right.
And I would guess our project manager word, but. So anyway, on a side note too, Jeremy and I talked, we're talking about USAA. They are open to exploring 4 or 5 year commitments or on some other things. So we discussed that a little.
Yeah.
We won't get into that today.
That was something that I wanted to see if with the amount of money that is being spent out there, I would love to see us have an ongoing relationship with them. That if we're going to be making these improvements, if there's anything else that we're going to do out there, that we do have a long-term commitment so that we can show that this is going to be continuing with them.
But it's hard. We were discussing a little bit, just I'll make this quick, adding fencing to the area that connects to existing fences. Not only does it make it more appealing for them coming in so they can gain the most revenue out of gate fees. That's how USAA makes the money, right? Off the gate fees with it. And it logistically, all of our interests is for parking out there, that can be a nightmare for them. So by adding just some fencing in areas and putting windscreens up for folks can sit out in the parking lots and watch games. Obviously, I don't know those numbers yet. It seems rather appealing for them. It keeps them coming back. It helps us secure the property a little bit better. Because my fears, if people stuff, I mean, we have a plan in place to kind of close off some of the ends to those diamonds and things like that, that somebody's gonna come out and vandalize them. But it's happened there before. We don't want that again, so, yeah, I discussed that too, so I don't think it should be cost too much, but that's something we need to discuss.
Very good.
Okay,
Thank you guys. We'll stay in contact.
yeah, we
Figure
will.
out where we're going.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. All right, up next is Comcast with a BEAD application presentation. This is on broadband.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jared Moore with Comcast Government Affairs, and my colleague Matt Kelly is also here with me. As you already indicated, I'm here to discuss BEAD, broadband equity and access deployment, which is an $862 million federal grant that is seeking to invest these monies into counties, particularly here in Indiana, to address unserved and underserved areas within Indiana. And I sent you guys an email last week kind of outlining an abbreviated way of what we're looking to do here in the county. And I can send you guys the maps of where in the county Comcast is looking to actually build these projects. Again, but it's to address unserved and underserved areas and to do as much investment as we can. And so the Indiana Broadband Office opened up the application December 30th, and they're still kind of mapping out design and cost and what everything is going to actually look like. But as we gear up for the application, we are seeking support letters from counties. Comcast is looking to take advantage of the grant opportunity, and we would like to get the support of the county. We're not asking for any subsidy of the county. We're not asking for any dollars in particular. But as we get the application rolling, we would like to, we are asking counties throughout the state if they are willing to sign on to support our application here within Decatur County. And so I have the outline here of what the ask is as it relates to support letters, and I can send you all that. But as I also mentioned, I'm going to send you guys the map of where we're actually looking to expand and build these particular projects within the county. We do have some time, but we are a little bit on crunch time, a little bit all in the same. We're looking to kind of apply for these applications by February 6th. So we're asking counties to sign on as quick as possible if you're willing to support us. And again, this is not exclusive, so you can support any provider within the county. But this is a huge part of the application process. And so as we're again getting the design and the cost and all of the preliminary things, we are seeking to move forward with the support letters as quick as possible. And we're excited about what we're going to do here in Decatur County, and would love for the commissioners, and not only the commissioners, but county council. We're asking you all's help to get as much support within the county as possible. So county council, any organization, or the Girls Club, United Way, whoever's here in the county, the school systems, who are also willing to support our letter, with the more the merrier. And so I'll give you all the outline here of what the actual criteria of the support letters are looking like. But we'll work partnership and hand in hand in kind of crafting that letter, and we have a template of what that looks like. And we would love for you all to, again, sign on to us, and I will get you as much information as it is disseminated to me as possible. Like I said, I can send you all the maps later on today, so you can see exactly where we are looking to expand. And if we would like to have further conversations even after this particular meeting, I'm definitely willing to do that as well. Didn't know if Matt wanted to share anything else outside of that, but we would love you all support.
Comcast have a footprint here in Decatur County.
We actually do, yes. And like I said, I'll give you the exact outline of where we are already within the county, and then where we're looking to expand through this grant process.
So as far as your expansion maps, are they down to resolve to an address level, or are they just polygons at this point?
So the addresses are still in Matt, correct me if I'm wrong here. The addresses are still being crafted out. And so we have a kind of a makeshift blueprint of where we are in the county. As far as detailed addresses, those are still being created by the IVO office. Yeah, broadband.
For the proposed.
Correct.
And so the application opened, I think you said
December 30th. Correct.
And you need to know by February 6th. What's your rollout timeframe on that?
Up to 4 years.
So BEAD funding's not going, BEAD's current projection is that they're not gonna release funding until roughly supposed to be Q1 of 26. So if people are awarded money, you actually see disbursement of those funds. I would venture to say more than likely Q2, Q3, knowing, kind of how those government funds go.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
That's 26.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. It was originally supposed to be 24, and we've just continued to push, this back.
Great. Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Love to see what you have.
Yeah, definitely. I'll make sure that I get that information to you all right after this meeting, and I'll give these pamphlets to you as well, and look forward to the conversation further. Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Powell. I saw you.
Yeah.
Yep, there you are.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good. We're here today to ask you to nominate one board member for us. Dr. Mary Fogler has left the county, so she had to get her position. I gave you a list of names there. Sean told you last time that we would present names as required by Indiana code. And I'm pleased to say we were able to get a lot of names. People evidently see what's been going on out there and are interested in supporting. 4 or 5 years ago, we would have been lucky to get one. Now we've got actually 6 people willing to serve. But I'd like to recommend Dr. Anthony Knowles as a dentist. We have nurses, physicians, pharmacists, and veterinarian on board. Adding a dentist would give us another perspective of public health and community and its needs. And Dr. Knowles has been involved in providing services to those who cannot afford it since 2015. So he's well aware of some of the problems in public health. I would recommend his appointment. And attached to that was also his resume.
I think that's a great choice. I like the idea of the dentist on the board of health.
I think they'll have a lot.
He does a lot in the community as well.
Pardon?
He does a lot in our community as
Yes,
well.
he does.
Health clinic.
Yes, he does.
Thank you
I'm on
very much
board.
for the information. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept this nomination.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
I
Those opposed? Motion carries. Dr. Anthony Knowles is appointed to the Board of Health.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I am striking the amendment to Fair Board bylaws. Just what that was. I had written in there what a specific day and time for the Fair Committee meetings were going to be. With the new Fair Committee, there is some conflicts for a date. We need to discuss that a little bit further at the next Fair Committee meeting, and then we'll bring that back just to make an amendment to the bylaws to leave it more open to the Fair Committee.
Meeting dates?
Yeah. Last thing that I have here, I know I had gotten this before the meeting started. Oh, you're right, I did. I scratched that off already. We'll get back to you in a second, Chris, for your warming center update, or Sean, if you want to get that. Doesn't matter to me. I did accidentally scratch out the job description for the maintenance man on government buildings. I sent you guys a job description so that we can get that position posted and get somebody hired. Do you have any discussions, anything else that you want to see included in that job description?
I thought it looked like it covered all the assets that we need. My question was, though, it covers the county highway garage. Do they already have somebody that does maintenance and or janitorial services over there? How does that
So this wouldn't be
dovetail into that?
this wouldn't be any janitorial services. I think most of what you guys do, you can do yourself. But if there was something that came up, I want this guy to be able to do. You have a burst pipe when everybody's out snowing or something like that. Just on the off chance that something like that happens.
Also, like the grounds, you guys take care of your grounds?
Or it's kind of been a big bid. For mowing.
So the maintenance
The actual
encompass that, non-paved.
Correct.
Garage.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to figure out exactly what we're doing here.
Yep, absolutely.
They do, okay. And then that would cover all the grounds here at the courthouse as well.
Yes, sir.
The annex.
Yes.
When we pay the annex in the courthouse for mowing,
I don't remember what that contract was.
okay.
I thought you did a great job. I was glad I didn't have to do it. That's really nice.
I did have a question on here about. Let's see if I can find it here. In the physical effort part of it, if you've got to pull that.
Which page you on there, Brian?
Page.
4.
Yeah, no, page 3 to 4 at the bottom. It begins.
Yep.
It's physical effort. Duties such as sitting and walking a wheel.
Oh, that will.
Oh,
Heck.
I was confused on that, but other than that, I think it looks good.
Okay, I got that changed.
Yeah, I think this works. Now, of course, at the top, you'll have to change department jail.
Oh, yeah.
Needs to be changed.
Yes.
So this maintenance person that you guys are looking at, you're looking to do all the custodial work too?
No.
No,
Not-
we will still have the janitorial service. But this is any of the other maintenance stuff that we've been having to contract out. I mean, from the drywall work and painting to working on the lawn and bushes, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay, and another question I have. We have a maintenance at the fairgrounds.
Yes.
How does this dovetail with that? Incorporating this maintenance for the 4 buildings, as long as that's with the fairgrounds as well. How does that work?
Well, our maintenance at the fairgrounds right now is done part-time. And so I think it will just depend on our applicants who's hired that determines kind of the route that position goes.
If we had the courthouse, the annex, the animal shelter, and the highway department, are our 4 listed buildings to be maintained, and added the fairgrounds, is that too much?
My concern is the amount of mowing. And then during the week of the fair, of having that same person out there the entire time. Do other buildings get neglected? That's my only concern. I'm open to the idea that we include the fairgrounds.
But it's just a thought process. You're paying a maintenance for this and for the fairgrounds. Would that not include, could we not all encompass that?
We can,
But is that too much? I don't know.
I don't know either. We haven't done this before.
That's my question. As we move forward, I want to make sure that we're not wasting money.
Yep.
I mean, if that makes sense.
I guess I saw that as, yeah. Supplement, otherwise, right?
Yeah.
So somebody to keep track of everything, watch everything. And start mental health to give them answers. So
Yep. Danny, Bill, you guys have thoughts?
The only thing on the fairgrounds is like in the summertime when they rent the buildings, chairs and tables, and sometimes that's weekend work. The maintenance guy doesn't work weekends, because normally, they rent.
It's in his job description.
Do what?
It is in the job description that he would have to work weekends or emergencies. Is the way it's stated, but how often does that, and again, I don't know, how often do we rent out?
Buildings there, they're renting quite often. There's quite a few wedding receptions and family reunions, and they really are. The fair is just not the only thing that goes on. It really is.
Is that,
I mean, I don't, you could try to lick and see what happens, but
I think one person, the mowing part can be taken care of. Got busted. How extreme this position is gonna be? Are they gonna repair plumbing or, change light bulbs?
And to be clear, I mean, if hiring these building stuff has to be contracted too. Right?
Yeah,
If there's a lot of drywall work, it's not like we're going to expect them to hang it all over
Yeah.
themselves, but it's really somebody to kind of oversee it, right? To
Hire. So,
I mean, you do as much work as you can, of course, but
When the heat doesn't come on the courthouse, they
yeah.
take care of it.
the one thing out there too is the fair committee is usually about a month before the fair, we're actually making a list of everything that needs to be moved and changed, buildings open. I mean, it almost becomes a full-time job on its own for 2 to 3
I
weeks.
always, and Gabe mentioned that, is I think in that case, we can hire possibly part-time help to supplement that or work through those 2 weeks.
And there
Fair.
are additional people that have worked through the fair as well. So we do already include additional part-time help.
but it kind of help having this person to
Oversee it.
Okay. Do you want to include,
But I don't know. I'm just, that's my thought process in the beginning is I think we need to look into that. Is that something how many hours does the part-time maintenance at the fair, do you guys know?
Jake works probably 20 to 40 hours sometimes. I mean, it all depends on what's going on
Right.
and what needs to be fixed out there. Is what I mean. My recommendation is to hire a guy to take care of your main buildings and leave Jake out there and then see what happens. That's just me.
He's already got a
Because
full-time job.
He's got a full-time job and he takes care of the fairgrounds, but I would see how much his maintenance man has to do, and then if you have to add it to him later. That's just my opinion.
my only concern is that, I mean, when we're including the courthouse, the annex, the shelter, highway department, mowing alone is going to be a substantial amount. And then if you have other maintenance issues that need to be addressed here, it's going to be substantial. So my concern is throwing the entire fairgrounds in on this very first attempt at having a maintenance position. If it's something that we need to broaden later, I think we can. But my concern is that I think that we're going to keep this guy or this person quite busy as it is now.
The fairground's been staying self-sufficient. We haven't used any taxpayers' money out there.
whether or not we want to word it, I think it's imperative that they work, at
Yeah.
some point. I mean, we just don't want to create
The division.
yeah, well, I don't do that. I don't do it. So to me, it just, the part-time person, that's where he can.
And maybe the part-time person works under this maintenance
That's what
director, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I say, let's post it and let's move forward.
And thank you to the sheriff for providing me a form that I can use.
You're welcome.
All right, so Brian, is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Okay. I'll second. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Check it out.
What's that?
Check this out.
I can check that one. Thank you. Got ahead of myself. So we will get that posted. Abby, I will email you this copy here. We can get that position posted.
And I'm assuming we already have a salary range in mind.
Yes, that was already set by the council last year when we went to when we did our budget.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, we just put so much money there to cover that and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's benefits and all,
We all, yeah,
what we put in there.
so much there already. John or Chris, want to give us an update on your warming center?
Yeah, so just a little background on Warming Center. We had decided to open up a warming center a couple of weeks ago. We had one person come in. This person had some pretty severe mental issues. And because of that, we actually made a couple of partnerships that really came in handy with both Bev Rivera and Amy Hicks from One Voice. And so we worked with them again to open up for this week. And we had 5 people, actually it's last week, I'm sorry. We had 5 people come in, and happy to say that, well, there were actually 7 people total. 5 of them were placed in recovery, and one person who actually was holding a job but living in a tent now has an apartment, thanks to Bev and thanks to Amy. So it's a great partnership. We're able to get 7 people out of their tents, out of living out in the cold before this cold weather really hit. So that was great. Today, last night we had one person, we have another one sleeping there right now. So it's not had a great turnout since we got 7 off the streets. So that's exactly what we want.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. So really happy about that.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the volunteers. You guys for doing that.
Great volunteers.
Brian, you have anything that you'd like to update us on?
Just quickly, went to a site selectors event in Greenville, South Carolina. For simple companies hire site selectors to sites. A lot of talk about energy, talk about businesses kind of holding off until the new administrations, I should say, both state and federal, kind of get their footing, see where it goes. Some trending stuff was data center, EV, cold storage, which is the courthouse wants to make some money on the side. Sorry. Yeah, we're kind of really in a holding pattern right now. Some of the projects are waiting to see what happens with tariffs and stuff as well. But one thing I will say is that we have the Opportunity Expo coming up February 26th. That's where we businesses have an opportunity to get in front of all the juniors and seniors in the county to advertise what you do. And if you're looking for like internships or particularly some of the graduating seniors, if you want to those, this would be an excellent time. It is free to have a table there. Call our office 812-222-2520. Talk to Emma. Just a barber. The high school was still also heading up, but it's been a great turnout the last couple of years, and we expect the same this year.
Where does that take place, Brian?
It takes place at the field house in Greenville.
Don, do you have anything?
Actually, thank you. We have an upcoming lunch and learn that I have invited several people here within this room to, that we highly encourage attendance at. It is the city of Greensburg, along with Burke Engineering, will be hosting an MS4 contractors training. That's going to cover stormwater management ordinances and technical standards updates, inspections, and providing attendees with practical knowledge and actionable strategies needed for compliance and project success. So I know I sent direct emails to, I think, Doug and Tim and several others. It is free. It is on February the 11th from noon to 1. That will be at Greensburg City Hall in the multi-purpose room. If you have any questions on that, just let me know. We do need registrations because there will be food involved with that. And you can sign up either on our website or just get a hold of me by email, either one. Legislative update will be Friday, February the 14th. That's 11:30 to 1. Senator Lysing, Representatives Meltzer, Zimmerman, and Patterson will all be in attendance. That is free and open to the public. We're doing it a little bit differently this year. Typically, it's a Saturday morning breakfast, coffee donuts type of situation. This year, we're going to do a small luncheon. So again, we'd appreciate registrations for that. Free, like I said, free and open to the public. Anyone is welcome to attend, and we anticipate a pretty large crowd this year. You can sign up on our website, or again, just email me with your interest in that. Saturday, February 22nd is our Ag Day breakfast. That is 7:30 to 9:30. We're anticipating about 225 to 250 people in attendance for that. We do have some elected officials who will be in the room that day that we have commitments from. That is Scott Beck with Beck's Hybrids. He's a 4th generation owner, will be our keynote speaker. So I think that's going to be a great program. Tickets are $20. You can buy tables and sponsorship opportunities as well. So interested in that, again, sign up online on our website or contact me and we'll get you set up. And then finally, we just committed this past Friday with a couple of others here in the community to host our first HR Power Hour for Q1. It's going to be called Business Emergency Preparedness. That is on February 27th from 11:30 to 1. Chief Sturmer and EMA Director Brad Spear will be presenting, and they're going to cover topics fire, flood, winter storms, tornadoes. We're going to go over advisories and exactly what that means for everyone involved, whether it's an employee or a business owner, fire codes, insurance. So I think that'll be a great program, great educational topics for everyone. So more information should be coming out yet this week on that. So just watch our social media for that.
Sounds like you're busy.
We are.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anybody else? No. Okay. I would entertain a motion to recess.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we are recessed.